Hey, what's up, my fellow compadres? It's Jukes Bro here, and today you're gonna figure out how much of a faggot I really am. So yeah, if you couldn't tell by the title of this video, this is gonna be about my top 10 favorite anime. Now, notice how I said my top 10. This is my opinion, so if you don't like it, fantastic for you. Honestly, I want this video to evoke discussion. If you don't agree with my list, go ahead and disagree with it. And I really hope it doesn't devolve into who's the best waifu or some other petty shit like that. Also, I hope this video is a little less cancer than other top 10s. So with that out of the way, how about we begin? Number 10. Have you ever noticed how in top 10 lists that the lower valued things are always paired with higher valued numbers? Now, if you don't know what Durarara is about, don't feel bad, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people who watched it also have no idea what it's about. Dur, as it's abbreviated to, is a show about gangsters, urban legends, superpowers, and other fun stuff like that. It is a confusing story, but if you can follow it, it's actually a pretty good show. Only problem is actually following it. The thing that made me like this show wasn't exactly the characters or the story or anything like that. I mean, Shizuo exists, and he's fucking awesome. He's the blonde dude on the right over there. But anyway, the thing that dragged me into this show was more along the lines of the style and the setting. I loved that shit a lot. The show takes place in a modern-day Tokyo setting, which is a setting I really love. It reminds me of the game The World Ends With You, and that's honestly one of my favorite games ever. And I just love the setting a lot in this show. The reason it's so low on the list is because it's really a confusing mess to get into, and it is not really for everyone, and it's not exactly my favorite anime of all time, but it's pretty up there. I mean, it wouldn't be on the list otherwise. So, give it a check if you haven't seen it already. Number 9. Shiki Briki. So, Shiki is a horror anime, and a pretty freaking weird one at that. There are a lot of weird aspects to this show, and it can be kind of like Durarara, where it gets pretty confusing, but at the same time, it doesn't get as confusing as Durarara. So explaining the plot to this show is kind of like a spoiler in itself, so consider yourself warned. Just skip to a point where you don't see this picture anymore. But the story is about vampires and what they do to this remote village in Japan over a set amount of time, you know, like what happens to this village after these vampires have shown up. Shiki is a pretty slow-paced anime for the most part, but when it picks up, holy freaking crap is it amazing. This show is very brutal with what happens, because there's a lot of gore, there's a lot of really good horror elements to it, a lot of blood, a lot of stuff that will creep you out, and honestly, the build-up, in my opinion, is kind of necessary for this show, for it to truly get under your skin and freak you out a little bit. But, like I said, it is pretty slow-paced, and when there isn't really anything happening, there really isn't much happening at all. And, like I said, there's a lot of weird parts to this show that really don't make any sense. Like, one of the main things you'll notice, like, right out the gate is, why does everyone's hair look like it just went through a fucking blender, or something along those lines. But it's a weird show, but it's here for a reason, and I like it, so. Step number 8. Jet Set Radio the Anime. Air Gear is an interesting beast. It seems to take the idea that a coherent cast of characters isn't needed, and it's still really freaking good. None of the characters in this show seem normal, and it's fucking awesome. Actually, I don't know if that's the right way to describe it. This anime is about motorized rollerblades called air treks, and street gangs that ride them. The show follows the main character Iki as he rides his own pair of air treks and creates his own gang, And these gangs, they kind of do these duel-like things. Most of the time they're races, but they can be something else. But these gangs all own like a sort of territory, and they have their own sticker, and stickers are kind of like the way of saying, you know, hey, this is our gang, and it's our territory, stuff like that. And these gangs compete with one another for their territory, their air treks, and it's a pretty interesting show. I mean, there's this big tower that's somewhere. I can't be fucked to look it up where it is or what its name is, but it's somewhere around there. Really, this show shines with its characters because all of them are freaking ridiculous. It's just funny to watch them, and the other thing is that the plot gets really freaking ridiculous at other points too. And it's overall just a really funny show. Oh yeah, and the soundtrack to this show? Freaking amazing. Some of the tracks are actually made by the same guy who did Jet Set Radio's soundtrack. Like I said, I'm lazy and I don't look this stuff up before I record, but it's really good. It's really good. Keep watching it. Watch it. Do it! You won't, you little pussy! Huh? What are you gonna do about it?! Number 47. Dark Swamp. This is a show for big people, so if you are under the age of 32, you may want to leave right now. So we're getting to that part of the list where the shows I put on I actually really enjoy, and I don't have too many bad things to say about them. Black Lagoon is an anime about 4 people who do illegal odd jobs. Honestly, it's kind of better to say this is a show about modern-day pirates. And oh my god, does it do a good job. This show, from its concept and its characters, is really, really good. Almost all the characters you meet in this show are likable. Some of them may be a bit misunderstood, but likable nonetheless. The show has a lot of good action sequences, and a lot of very tense moments to keep you on the edge of your seat. The show kind of works in story arcs, so every couple of episodes they'll focus on this, and then the next they'll focus on this, but each one is really good. I don't recall any story arc that I hated throughout this. The only downsides are, I wish it was longer. I wish the show ran on for a bit longer than it did. And also, if you're watching the English dub, the first, I don't know if it's just the first season or the first couple of episodes, but the audio quality is kind of bad, so be warned about that, but the voice acting is actually really good for the English dub. So yeah, if you want a good action anime to watch, here you go, the perfect example, right? Look at you dead in the face. I'm pretty sure all these suggestions are gonna end with me yelling, let me get a number 6 with extra dip. Neon, what the fuck hasn't been said about this show already? So unless you really don't pay attention to anime, which I really don't blame you, you'll probably know what Neon Genesis Evangelion is, or at least heard of it. For those of you who don't know, however, Neon Genesis is about teenagers using mechs, I'm saying that with quotations. They use these mechs to fight these creatures called the Angels, which want to destroy the world, which is a very, very broad explanation of what the show is. The other part of this show is shocking human depth. It shows us completely flawed characters. This show is about flawed characters. It doesn't show us heroes who are completely perfect, save the world with no issues, and they just, ooh, look at this big old dick right here! Oh yeah, it's real nice! Oh yeah! No, this anime is filled with flawed characters, all with their own different problems, and it kind of shows us what happens when a simple 14-year-old is given the weight of the world on his shoulders, and how it affects them and all the people around them. This is a really deep show, and it gets really fucking trippy after, like, episode 15 because of budget cuts. I'm pretty sure it was budget cuts. And truth be told, when I watched this anime the first time, I freaking hated it, and I honestly can't blame anyone who also hates it, because it doesn't make any sense. This show honestly doesn't make any sense, and you need to go to, like, freaking English class or something along those lines to freaking decode everything about this show, but in all honesty, it is a really good show. And if you really don't care about the human depth part of it, and you just want to watch fucking giant-ass things get fucking beaten, then just watch the Rebirth movies. They're way easier to get into. Yeah, I fucking said it. You got a problem with me? Hey, we're at number 5. Yeah, kill myself. Mushishi. I couldn't think of any wordplay with this one. You know, I'm really not sure what to really say about this anime, so why don't I just start with the main plot of the show. Mushishi is about these life forms known as Mushi that exist all around people, but people generally don't know they exist, and even less so can see them. The show is about a wandering Mushi master named Genko who follows rumors to go to different places that apparently have Mushi problems or other Mushi issues, and he tries to help people out. Each episode doesn't really correlate with any of the other episodes, at least not generally speaking, so you could pick up at literally any point of the whole show and be none the wiser that it's like, say, episode 17. Each episode is a clean slate. One thing to note is that this show is very depressing. I mean, it's really good. I wouldn't have put it at number 5 if it wasn't good, but it's a really sad show. It's only a 26-episode series, and it took me 3 months to finish it because I couldn't watch more than 3 episodes at a time because of how sad they were. Mushishi is very comparable to the book Travels with Charlies by John Steinbeck. If you haven't read it, I can't exactly recommend that you do. It's kind of a boring book, but they both carry the same premise. They're supposed to make you think about life, you know? It makes you wonder, like, how much value there is in your life. Both of these forms of media are about a wanderer who goes around to different places, kind of peeks into other people's lives, and sees their joys, their sorrows, and, you know, it's an experience. It's really just a show about experiences. Unfortunately, however, this is one of the only animes on this list I can't exactly recommend, because like I said with that book, it's not for everyone. It can be kind of boring, and other people can just see it as stupid and too slow-paced for them to enjoy. But if you do find yourself enjoying it, you're a cool person, and you got approval from a person on the internet with a shitty microphone, so congratulations. Oh wow, what's that coming up on the screen? It looks like number 4! Psychopath, I mean pass. Psychopath is an anime about, it's a sci-fi anime, which is about a computer system in the future that can basically tell if you're going to be a criminal or not through a number known as your psychopaths. High means you're a criminal, low means you're good to go. This show follows a police force that apprehends or kills people with psychopaths that are too high. Psychopaths is almost like a hidden gem of anime, even though I don't exactly think it's hidden. I just feel like no one talks about it enough, because it's a really, really good anime. This show is amazing, from the characters, to the suspense, to the art style. Oh, I love it. One of my favorite parts about this anime is how they portray the bad guy. They make you really hate this bad guy. They make him seem very, very evil. And it does a really good job of doing that. Oh yeah, and the music to this show? Mwah! Mwah! Is that what the chefs do? They like put the fingers to their mouth and they're just mwah! Actually, that's pretty much this whole show. If you haven't watched it, Sonny Jim, I think you can guess what the hell I'm gonna say. Number 3. Now, if you thought following the police was gonna be a good thriller, wait until you follow the terrorists! I mean, you still follow the police in the show, but they're terrorists! The terrorists are the main characters here. So Terror in Residence is a fast-paced anime about a group of terrorists, at first just 2, then it evolves into 3. And they typically blow stuff up, if you could imagine. But the side thing is that whenever they blow stuff up, they do their best not to hurt anyone. They just hurt the infrastructure. If you want something good to binge watch and have your eyes break from widening in surprise, then yeah, this one's pretty good for that. Terror in Resonance wraps everything up into a perfect 12-episode masterpiece. It makes you feel for every single thing that happens in this show. And it just grabs you by the balls and says, do something about it, you little punk. You won't. You know you love it. I can't actually say too much more about this show because I feel like I'll be spoiling it, and I really don't want to spoil this. So if you haven't seen it, just honestly, like I said, these just boil down to watch it if you haven't. And número dos, Elfin Lied, or Lied. Really not sure how you're supposed to pronounce the second part. So originally I was gonna put more horror entries on this list, but they got just shut out by other better picks. But this one right here, I love this one. I want to get a picture of it so I can frame it, put it on my bedside stand, so I can kiss it goodnight every night. Mwah. This is a show about a girl named Lucy whose sole purpose seems just to be dismembering people, but that's a very stretched form of the premise. But basically, she loses her memory and turns into this pretty innocent person known as New. And New is this adorable little thing that can only say New, and honestly, it's fucking great. I really wish this show was just longer than 12 episodes. I really do. It has a very strange feeling to it. It's kind of like an awkward sort of feeling where nothing really exactly feels safe in the show. There's always something. Nothing ever feels right. Like, you never know when something bad might happen in this show. 1 second, everything could be fine, and the next, someone could be losing their head. It's that kind of feeling of uncertainty that just doesn't make you feel safe. Also, tits. There are a lot of tits in this anime. Like a ton of tits. Not even really sure if those tits are legal. Better enjoy them before the police show up. And now, some honorable mentions. Phantom Requiem for the Phantom, Kakai Sensen, Steins Gate, Higurashi, the Fate series, all of it, Rainbow, Toradora, Mirai Nikki, Parasite, Tokyo Ghoul, and of course Code Geass. Alright, so with that all the way, number 1. Samurai Champloo. Now, I really don't know if this was a predictable pick, but regardless, it's still my favorite anime of all time. And can I say something? I actually watch this show every summer for like the past 4 years. I've rewatched this show 4 times. I don't think I can accurately express how much this show has done for me and how much I appreciate that it exists. It has had a major impact on the person I am today. And if Elfin Lied was a picture on my bedside, this would be a mural on my wall that I would wake up to every morning. This anime is about a trio of people, Jin, Mugen, and Fu, as they travel around the Edo period of Japan, searching for the Sunflower Samurai. And if you've seen the Boondocks on Adult Swim, then this show is a lot like it. In fact, I'm pretty sure Samurai Champloo influenced the Boondocks. This anime has it all. You know, a good plot, good characters, comedy, suspense, and just a lovable art style, and just everything about it is just... I can't even talk right now because of how much this show makes me come! If you haven't seen Samurai Champloo already, for shame. Just for shame. Just stop what you're doing right now and start watching it. I guarantee you, you will not regret it. Samurai Champloo is a beautiful piece of art. And I just love it so much. Maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm not. But I love everything about this show, and if you've watched it, I hope you love it too, and that's pretty much why I put it at number 1. And also the music in this show, holy shit, fantastic. It's pretty much the reason I listen to all the music I do nowadays. And I still listen to the soundtrack to this. It's just unfortunate that on YouTube a lot of it got blocked because of copyright issues. It's unfortunate. Wow, that was way fucking longer than expected! So I hope you enjoyed my list and this video. If you liked it, you know, give it that good old thumbs up. If you didn't, go fuck yourself. Well, this has been Jukes Bro, and I'll catch you later.